In this video, we'll be taking a look at two WNBA games happening on June 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two WNBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Liberty versus Washington Mystics. We're diving into a WNBA clash scheduled for June 5th, 2025 that really paints a picture of two teams on completely different paths. The New York Liberty, currently riding a perfect 7-0 wave, have firmly planted their flag as the WNBA's team to beat, showcasing an offense that scores at will and a defense that gives up almost nothing. On the other side of the court, the Washington Mystics are navigating a tougher stretch, sitting at 3-5 and trying to find some consistent footing after a string of challenging defeats. The New York Liberty aren't just sitting at the top of the league. They've been making a habit of dismantling their opponents with authority. Their recent 22-point drubbing of these same Washington Mystics serves as a pretty stark reminder of the current chasm between these two franchises. The Liberty's offense is a well-oiled machine, clicking on all cylinders, and their defense has been nothing short of suffocating, leading the league in almost every significant statistical category. Washington, while showing flashes of competitiveness here and there, just doesn't seem to possess the offensive firepower needed to hang with a team like New York for a full game. The Mystics have notably struggled when facing the league's elite, and their recent performances don't inspire much confidence that they're ready to throw a serious scare into the Liberty. It's worth noting that the Liberty have successfully covered the spread in 3 of their last 4 games and boast an unblemished 5-0 record straight up against the Mystics in their last 5 head-to-head meetings. Now, for those who enjoy sports betting, we've actually found some success backing the Mystics when they're underdogs, going back to last season 11. However, this particular matchup feels like a really difficult spot for them. The Mystics are coming off that aforementioned 22-point loss to this very Liberty team just a few days ago, and they followed that performance by giving up 85 points to the Indiana Fever. If Washington can't find a way to tighten things up on the defensive end, and quickly, they really don't stand much of a chance when competing against the league's best, like New York. Also, it's interesting to note that while the Liberty have occasionally had issues covering the spread when they're big favorites in the past, they've been solid recently, going 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games when favored by double digits. Considering just how dominant the New York Liberty have been in recent years, it really comes as no surprise that they've thoroughly handled many of their opponents. This dominance is especially evident in their head-to-head record against the Washington Mystics, where they've won 9 out of their last 10 meetings. Breaking that down further, the Liberty are a perfect 4-0 in games played in Washington during that span, a record that includes an 85-63 victory earlier this season right on the Mystics' home court. Given that the Liberty have started the 2025 season with an unblemished record, all signs point to that successful run continuing with another significant victory in this upcoming contest. It's a pretty thick point spread, no doubt, but if last week's game is any sort of reliable indicator of how things are trending, we could be looking at another blowout win for the Liberty. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Liberty to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Shifting our focus to the game total, in the last 10 head-to-head encounters between these two teams, the over has hit in 8 of those games. The Liberty have been averaging a potent 89 points per game during that stretch. With New York currently possessing the best offense in the WNBA, there's a strong expectation that this game will also be a high-scoring affair. For the Liberty, looking at their last 10 games overall, the over sits at an even 5-5. They've been particularly effective scoring on the road this season, averaging an impressive 91 points per game when playing away from home. For the Mystics, the over has come in just 4 to 6 times in their past 10 contests, and they've allowed 80 or more points in 5 of their 8 games played this season, which could open the door for a high total here. Looking at their last 10 head-to-head meetings, the over has indeed cashed in 8 out of 10 times, with New York averaging that strong 89 points per game in those specific contests. The Liberty's offense is, without question, the most potent in the league right now. Adding to the case for a higher score, Washington has surrendered 85 points or more in each of their last 2 losses, losses. New York's commitment to a fast pace and their highly efficient shooting, combined with Washington's likely need to try and keep pace offensively, should logically push the total score over the 163.5 mark. Even though the Mystics' most recent games have shown a trend towards the under, the Liberty's overwhelming offensive firepower and their established history of participating in high-scoring games against Washington make the over the more appealing value play in this instance. While both teams might have had some recent individual games go under, the long-term trend when these two specific teams match up strongly favors a game with plenty of points on the board. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Valkyries versus Phoenix Mercury. We've got a WNBA Commissioner's Cup game on the slate that definitely catches the eye for those looking at game outcomes. The Golden State Valkyries, who are trying to find their footing with a 2-4 record and sitting 5th in the Western Conference, are going up against the Phoenix Mercury. The Mercury have a more solid 5-3 record, placing them 3rd in the West. This game comes as the Valkyries are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, their latest defeat being an 86-75 loss at home to the Minnesota Lynx this past Sunday. The Mercury are also looking to bounce back, as they recently took an 88-65 hit on the road against those same Minnesota Lynx on Tuesday. Now, heading into Thursday night's game against the expansion Valkyries, the Mercury might be dealing with a few players out of the lineup. That being said, even if they're not at full strength due to some injuries, the Mercury's defense is where they're likely to really make their mark. Phoenix boasts some impressive defensive numbers, ranking 3rd in the league when it comes to points allowed and also 3rd in defending the three-point shot. That kind of defensive prowess should play very well against a Golden State squad that's struggling to put points on the board, evidenced by their 12th place ranking in scoring and 13th in field goal percentage across the WNBA. The Valkyries have hit a rough patch, dropping their last 3 games, and that tough reality of being a first-year expansion team seems to be truly setting in for them. Adding to Phoenix's advantage, the Mercury have been formidable on their home court, sporting a strong 4-1 record this season. When you dig into how these teams defend the perimeter, they're operating on 2 entirely different levels. The Mercury are a top-tier team in this area, ranking 3rd in the league by holding their opponents to just a 29.3% shooting percentage from three-point range. The Valkyries, on the other hand, are struggling much more, sitting down at 10th and allowing opponents to connect on 37.7% of their threes. There's a noticeable gap when you look at true shooting percentage over the course of the season as well. Golden State finds themselves at the very bottom of the WNBA with a 49.3% true shooting percentage, which is a tough look, while Phoenix is doing a bit better, ranked 9th with a 52% true shooting percentage, indicating more efficiency when they take their shots. You could try to build an argument for Golden State to pull off an upset here, especially when you consider that the Mercury are a bit banged up with injuries. However, the Valkyries are increasingly looking like a team experiencing the typical trials and tribulations of a first season in the league. They've lost 3 straight games, and their defensive performance appears to be trending in the wrong direction. There's also a real possibility that the Valkyries could be without the services of their best player, Hayes, which would be a significant blow. The Mercury have been outstanding playing at home, and they certainly possess the offensive firepower needed to cause a lot of problems for a Valkyries team that's clearly struggling. The betting line on this game seems pretty reasonable given all these factors. As our first pick for this matchup, the Phoenix Mercury to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Looking at offensive production, the Valkyries have found it difficult to consistently put up big numbers, managing to score 80 or more points only once in their last 5 outings. The Mercury, meanwhile, have seen their games trend towards lower scores, with the total going under in 4 of their last 5 contests. The Mercury's defense has really been the backbone of their success all season long, carrying the team through many games, and you should fully expect that defensive tenacity to continue and be a major factor on Thursday night. It's looking like defense is going to be the name of the game when these two teams hit the court. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.